My story takes a big turn in 2003 when I was found dead in a Dairy Queen bathroom.
They put you in the body bag, zipped up
They
the
did,
body bag.
yeah, but everything else was gone. So I was brain dead for 3 days. Well, the time of pronunciation of death and the time my heart started was exactly 47 minutes.
Welcome to the Reality Revolution. My guest today is Vinney Tolman, author of the best-selling book, The Light After Death, My Journey to Heaven and Back, and its companion workbook, Living the Light, which he co-wrote with Lynn Taylor. Vinney is the founder of Living God's Light, which he works as a teacher, mentor, and counselor, helping people around the world strengthen their connection to the divine and live with more light. He's becoming one of the most sought-after voices in the near-death experience community, sharing 10 principles he brought back that have transformed thousands of lives. I wanted to go in a little more detail how amazing his story is, but I wanted to let him tell you the story and the story behind these principles and how he learned them and who taught them to him and what he saw about the future of humanity is one of the most extraordinary accounts that you will ever hear. It all starts in a small restaurant in Utah in 2003, and I can't wait for you to meet him. Welcome to the Reality Revolution, Vinney.
Thank you, Brian. I'm really excited to be here, man.
Yeah. My good friend Kyle had recommended that you come on. He said it was his favorite interview ever, and we're always excited to hear new accounts and new visions. So tell my group a little bit more about your story. I can't wait for them to hear your full story from your words.
Yeah, so my story essentially takes a turn. My story of my life takes a big turn in 2003 when I was found dead in a Dairy Queen bathroom. And that's where it takes a big turn right there.
Yeah. Well, tell me what happened. So supposedly they put you in the body bag, zipped up the body bag.
Yeah.
Right?
So this particular ambulatory crew, there's 3 of them. There's a rookie and two veteran medics. They're kind of training him or he's shadowing them. And they show up. They happen to be a crew that works together with search and rescue quite a bit in their
Right.
territory, their region. So they did have body bags on them. They went ahead and they attempted resuscitation. There was no sign of life whatsoever. The body was cold. There was no heartbeat, no sign of life. They did give time of death pronunciation. They, when somebody fills out a death certificate, they fill out a request or a document, and then that document goes and gets the actual death certificate. So I had that document filled out on me. And after that was all done, from the time that they pronounced death and them driving away from the scene, there was this rookie medic. He felt something coming over him that really pushed him to break protocol and try to resuscitate the body, and he did. He was able to hook up a defib and get the heart to start again. And the heart was beating on its own. That's the one thing that was okay, was the heart was beating on its own, but everything else was gone. So I was brain dead for 3 days while the rest of my systems started to try to come back.
Right.
And I had my whole experience. My experience was during those 3 days, but in hard documentation, the time of pronunciation of death and the time my heart started was exactly 47 minutes. But likely, and most likely, it was a full hour before that added into that. So probably an hour and a half, hour 47, that total death time.
And so you visited the afterlife.
Yes. Yeah, it's more real than this life, for sure. More real than this matrix that we delude ourselves in.
Unbelievable. So tell me about it. Tell me what you saw.
Well, the first thing is I didn't know I was dead. I didn't. I felt totally comfortable. I did notice that I was not in pain. At the time I was an amateur bodybuilder, and when you're working out a lot, your in quite a bit of pain daily, and I was not in any pain whatsoever. And that was the first notice that something had shifted. I didn't know it was my death, but I thought, wow, this supplement that I took that I aspirated on, I thought it must have been the supplement. I thought, wow, this is really good stuff. It took away all the pain. And I felt just the most peaceful, comfortable, loving energy come over me as I watched this light far off from me get closer and closer and closer. And as it got closer, I realized it was a scene. Mm-hmm. And the scene was this dead body in the middle of the bathroom of a restaurant. And I could see every room around. I could even hear anyone's thoughts in the room, which was very different. I had never thought of something like that you could hear everyone's thoughts. But I could. And I thought I was watching a movie. I did not think it was real. I thought for sure I was sitting in some kind of theater. I was watching a movie. And as I witnessed them take away my buddy, I had taken this supplement that I aspirated on. I took it with my best friend, and I watched them take him away in an ambulance. So I wanted to go follow him and his story. But what happened was I was pulled back to this Dairy Queen and to stay right there looking down. And I just continued to witness people not notice the dead body inside that bathroom for a long time, man. It was probably easily an hour. But then one customer, he really wanted to go to the bathroom and he kept trying to open the door and it was locked. He finally got a manager to open it, and that's when they found the dead body, is when they opened the locked door of the bathroom. They called 911. They got this ambulance crew there, which they ended up, that rookie breaking protocol, getting the body to start its heart back again. I was watching all of that happen from above. I watched as they were transferring the body into the hospital gurney at the hospital, and I watched that it went into a full seizure. And when it was in seizure, I felt someone strapping my arm down where I was sitting in this comfortable theater that I thought I was in. Mm-hmm. And I looked down to see my left arm, that I could feel someone strapping me down. I looked down and I was looking at the arm of the body, like the dead body's arm, not my arm. Wow. And that was the first thing that made me realize that everything that I had been experiencing so far was my own death, and it was not some kind of movie. It was actually me. Right. And then I had this onslaught of negative thoughts, you freaking idiot. How could you not know this was your own death? You're so stupid. And then I started seeing every bad thing that I ever did in my life, from the youngest of age all the way up to 25. I was 25 when this all happened. And I took a deep breath with all that. And I had a thought, if this is all that I am, then why do I even exist? If this is the sum of my life, why do I even exist? And as soon as I had that thought, this flood of warmth came over me. And it came from behind me. I could feel it was like a sun coming out behind a cloudy day or a shaded day. I could feel this sun come and start warming my back, and I could feel this love pouring over me. And then I started seeing every good thing that I ever did. And just like with the bad thing, I was seeing it from my eyes, but I would also see it from the eyes of someone I helped or somehow supported. And as I was witnessing all this, that warmth, that love got stronger and stronger and stronger, to a point where it was almost overwhelming. There was no possible way to be worthy of the love that was being poured upon me. There's no possible way to be worthy of it. It's so much more than what we can even understand. And I'm sitting there but why me? What did I do to get so much love like this? And that's when I had this thought, well, turn around and see where this is coming from so you can figure this out. And so I turned around and I see this man. He's all dressed in white. He's got a long white beard. He's got longer white hair. His skin is like sand at the beach. Is like glistened, and light was coming out of him. And the first thought I had was, oh, this is God. I mean, it was the closest thing to what I think God would look like, probably. But it wasn't God. He said,
"No, son, my name's not God. I'm not God."
"No, son, my name's not God. I'm not God." He said,
"I'm here to be your guide. I'm here to help you go."
"I'm here to be your guide. I'm here to help you go wherever you want to go." And he motioned back to my body, and he said, "I can help you go back to your body." And right then, there was an orderly or a nurse that was straddling the chest, and he was like stabbing something into the chest.
Was it
like
adrenaline?
like a syringe or adrenaline,
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And it was something that looked terrible. It did not look like something you would want done to your body. And even that glance, that cursory glance, I knew I didn't want to go back to my body. I knew for a fact I didn't. I knew I wanted to go anywhere but my body, because there was so much love being surrounding me. I wanted to go to that place, wherever that love was coming from.
Where is that love coming from?
So I asked my guide, I said, "Well, where's that love coming from?" And he explained it came from my home.
It came from my home and from his home.
And from his home, and that we could go towards home. So we began this journey. He said, "I would love to take you there." And we began this journey towards what I call home. You know, here we call it heaven, but it's home. It's where it's where every single one of us came from.
Did you go and check that out, or did you tell me about what you saw?
So first things first, my guide, he showed me that the love frequency or the love vibration of heaven is so high that for me to go there, I would have to learn to raise my vibration just along the way. And it wasn't like, he wasn't giving me, how many hertz or megahertz or vibrations I would have to do. He just explained to me I would have to work really hard with him to raise my vibration. And once we got it high enough, we could actually get in and go there. And the first thing he taught me is that part of us understanding what we're doing here is to find out that authenticity is the most important thing for us. And that, when we're very young, we're authentic. When we're born here, we're authentic. Before we die, if we die of old age, we end up pretty much dying pretty authentic. Even maybe authentically miserable, but still authentic, right? And that in between there, as humans or as souls playing humans, we tend to try to become who we think other people want us to be. And that's a false path. That's like a false path of happiness. That's not a true happiness. And he showed me that for me to have my own true happiness, I would have to release my need to be anything for anyone, and to look inside me and see who I really was, and to become him, to allow myself to be the true self of who I was. And that was step one. Then step two, I thought would be like love or something. And he said, no, step two is to understand why I even came to Earth, why I chose to come to Earth. And I told him, I said,
"Hey, I grew up in church. I know why I came to Earth. It's all a test."
Yeah.
Hey, I grew up in church. I know why I came to Earth. It's all a test. Throw away the bad ones, keep the good ones. That's what it's all about. And he just looked with this beautiful, loving smile, and he looked at me and said, "I love that you think that's how it is, but there's more to it than that." And he helped me see that we elected to come here long before we came here. We didn't just choose it. We had to work really hard to be able to earn being able to come here. Like, not everybody can come into Earth School. It is the grad school of existence. It's one of the hardest places to get into. And it's because our duality, our good is so good, our bad is so bad. Every other universe out there, every other existence, every other planet, the duality is much tighter and shorter to each other. But here, we're so far away from our good and our bad that it becomes the place where you can get the most motion with your choices. So if you choose good, you get the most motion into that good. If you choose bad, you get the most motion into the bad. And that's why it's hard to get in here. We work really hard to get in. Some of us, we worked really hard to come here and be a drug addict and die on the street. It doesn't matter. We still worked really hard to get here for some purpose, for some mission. And that the reason we're here is to explore who we really are and to measure ourselves for us, not for anyone else, not even for God, but for us to measure who we really are and learn more about ourselves. It's kind of like walking up to a spiritual mirror and seeing truly who we are. And that's what Earth life is. And you know, Drake, who my guide, he kept saying that Earth is like a school. And he liked to call it Earth School. And since then, that kind of stuck with me. I really like to call it Earth School because to me, it is a school. We're constantly learning. And you know, I'm very, very excited to see the outcome after school, to see the reward, because I did get a glimpse of that along the way. And you know, one of the many things that my guide taught me is that to get into our home, we have to release all false beliefs. And one major false belief is prejudice. There's no such thing as prejudice. Like, that's something we pick up here, and they don't have it there at all. It does not exist. And I had to release prejudice here. But what's really funny, not towards any religion, not towards any lifestyle, not towards any race, I had to release prejudice towards prejudiced people. Which
Right.
like that like blew my mind. I never even thought of it, that if I have prejudice towards prejudiced people, I myself am prejudiced.
It's true, right?
And I had to let it go. You know, it was easy, but also hard because it was so clear and it was so blatant in front of me that I had to let it go. I did let it go so that I could extend or stretch myself and get ready to get into our home. And you know, I was taught by my guide that in the future, that technology would serve to replace God completely. And that, you know, and this again happened 2003. Back then, I never even would have imagined so many people like this every day, just sitting there staring at their phones, right? And now I see it every day. I see people completely addicted to their tech. And even some people, they're not staring at their phones anymore. They're using their glasses, or they're using their ocular implants. They're using their different tech to be addicted to tech.
Very true.
And it's happening. It's happening right in front of us, man. And I learned from him back in 2003 that we have to strike up a healthy relationship with technology. And a healthy relationship means that we keep God where God should be, and that's as a direct connection inside. That the keys to the entire universe are right here, and that there is no temple on this blessed planet that is more sacred than this temple, than this clay jar, this vessel for our soul.
The keys to the entire universe.
And that if we can recognize that and be very careful what we allow to get in our temple, whether it be tech, entertainment, food, drink, poison, we have to be very careful about what we allow in the blessed vessel or the temple. And if we are, we maintain a stronger connection to our source, to our creator. And in building that strong connection, we can have unlimited access to the universe. Because when we do have that strong connection, the universe is ours. The universe is just you inversed, is just you inside out. And it's a really a neat thing to understand. And as I was getting through all that, my guide, he showed me that off in this distance, I could see an actual physical place, a place that it is a true existence, somehow plottable, mappable, like you can get there if you have the right means or understanding or ability. But this place that we call heaven is a very real space. And if we can shed all those human elements, all those prejudices, those false beliefs, we can enter there. And I was able to enter there. I felt my feet actually touch down in that space. And the first feeling I got as soon as my feet touched down is that I was home, and that I was now charging some kind of soul system or some kind of battery system that I'd been waiting my entire lifetime to do. And I was now plugged back in. And this is a weird way to say it, but the grass itself, every single blade had consciousness, and I could hear and speak and connect to every single blade of grass. And the grass itself was sending me so much love. And the only response I had was, but why me? And they kept saying the same thing, because you're you. Because you're you. And we don't realize that all of the universe looks at us, these individuals who have chosen to come to Earth School, as something really special. They look at us as masterworks, or something that has taken a long time to get to where it is. And experiencing that grass was life-changing. I felt more love from a single blade of grass than I ever got in my entire life combined, from all the people around me. I felt more love from a single blade of grass. And, working with my guide, he helped me understand that if I even took a single blade of grass here to Earth, that our entire universe would explode, because it can't contain the energy. The energy in a single blade of grass there is so high that it's more energy than all of our universe, our known universe. And that each blade of grass itself is source. Here, we look out our window, we see grass. We're seeing the grass because the sun is shining down on it and the light is reflecting. That's how we recognize color. That's how we see things. Well, there's no outside sun. There's not one. And so that means that in that space, everything is source light. That means the grass itself was light. It was emitting light to me. And I'm freaking out about all this grass. It was just, which is silly, because I'm not a grass guy. I'm just not.
Yeah.
But I'm freaking out about it. And my guide, he's laughing, and lovingly he's laughing. He looks at me, he goes, if you think the grass is great, you should see the flowers. And that's when I was flipping over backwards, man. I was so excited to see flowers on top of this. And he brought my consciousness onto the petal of a flower. And as I moved, I could see liquid lavender light, almost like a plasmatic light, inside the petals of these flowers. That where I moved, the light would move with me. And there was thousands and thousands of shades of violet and red and pink inside these petals. And I could feel, again, the most tremendous sense of love for me, and for not anything I could ever do to deserve it. And then that's when Drake showed me trees. And then the next thing I know, I feel this touch on my toe. I look down, there's water there. And water has actually come up out of a little stream. in our heaven realm. It looks like Earth, but way bigger. I mean, it's a space that's much larger than our sun. And I'm looking down, I see this little stream. The water came up out of the stream and it approached my toes, and it had touched my toes. And as soon as it touched my toes, I heard in my mind, "Do you want us on you?" And I was so gung-ho about anything in that space.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, bring it on, bring it on. So the water actually came up over me, and as it did, I could feel it doing energetic repairs on my energetic body. So I didn't have my human body there. I had my real body, which our real body is an energetic body. It's different than our physical body. It is, it's almost like it is a plasmoid. It's like this electrical living force itself, our energetic body. I could feel this water going up and over me, but at the same time, I could feel that there was a great amount of damage that had been done to this body, to my energetic body, because of the trauma I had gone through as a kid. And, you know, as a kid, I had a really, really rough upbringing. And, you know, there'd be adults in prison if, you know, if that had happened today, what had happened back then. And what I loved is this water was healing that. It was healing the rips, the tears, the brokenness that was in my soul. And as it got to the top of my head, I felt this pulse of energy come off of whatever it was doing, almost like it was permeating my energetic body and pulsating the negative energy out of it. And as I felt all of that happening, I felt the water start to recede back down. And I noticed, like, the water felt wet, but it also felt cold. But it felt warm, it felt comfortable, it felt electrical. But never at any point did I look down and feel wet, though. Nowhere. But it was like electrical wet, you know? And as all of this is happening, I know that I'm a different person now. I'm a different soul than I was before the water came up on me.
That's for sure. Wow.
And
Unbelievable.
I was like, I was healed. I was truly healed of the trauma from my childhood.
It's very common when you hear near-death experience stories, what you said at the beginning, the experience where you go through all the bad things that you did, and then also the reaction from others, from their perspective of how they experienced it, as opposed to the good too. It's something that we should carry with us, knowing in our afterlife, the one consequence is we have to experience these things again from others' perspective. If you keep it in your mind, it really is. It's a huge game changer for you. I'm sure you're considering how this is affecting those. It's easy to get blinded in this world, and you're only in your own little head, right? Yeah. But when you understand, you're going to have to go through what they're experiencing through you as a part, at another level. It changes you, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you understand that principle, there's no such thing as predator or prey anymore, because the predator will feel what it's like to be the prey.
Right.
And
I mean, people talk about karma. I mean, it's the ultimate karma, that whatever people are going to have to face, it's not necessarily a punishment. It's just authentically, truly what you did in your experience. So is there a way for us to process some of that negative stuff from our past now, so we don't necessarily have to go through that? By the time we're facing it, we've faced it. Is there a way for us now, because of what you realize, that we can go through and process that old experience?
100%, and it's the power of empathy. So when we analyze our past, we can go into our past just using our mind and use empathy to analyze and view our own past. That means go into those spaces where you didn't even think you were doing anything wrong, and feel if there was wrong energy there, and feel maybe where there's some bad checks that were written, or there was bad energy exchange that you didn't know was there. And it's a beautiful thing that if we open our consciousness to that, we can find little hiccups, little spots that we can go revisit with them and say, hey, I didn't realize that was that way for you. I want to make amends. I want to clear the energy between the two of us. And, love is a very, very powerful force. And at this point of my experience, my guide had come over to me. He saw me getting really excited about a building. And I was getting really excited about going over to this building and seeing a bunch of people. And dude, this building, there was people from our future. There was people from our ancient past. And they were both there at this building. I was so excited. I mean, I've always been a sci-fi guy my whole life. But if there was anything that was like confirmation to all the sci-fi movies we ever watched, I'm like, this is it. I can go there. I can ask them questions. And, but I didn't make it. Drake came around to me and he put his arms around me and he said, Vinney, he said, this is going to be really hard, but it's going to be worth it. And as he hugged me, I felt as if heaven itself, or God, whatever form of God you believe in, but there was this heaven itself formed inside of my guide and hugged me that day. And I felt the most beautiful sense of peace come over me, that no matter what was going to happen, it was going to be okay. Number one. Number two, don't get so caught up on things. Like we get so caught up on things not going the way we want or not having the outcome that we desire. And we let it blockade us. We let it put fences around us. And as I felt this hug, this love get into my soul, I felt what it was like to bring two souls into one. And I could feel a unity between me and my guide at that point. And again, I felt this pulse of energy, and then a second pulse of energy. And then while we're hugging, I'm hearing in my ear, I can hear my brother on earth giving a prayer to my body. Now, meanwhile, I had been brain dead for 3 days. My brother was giving a prayer to my body, and he was saying sentences like, I command you to be made whole. I command you to return to your body. And I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, yeah, right. I'm not going back there. I really believed like I was in full control.
Where'd you want to go? Yeah.
But when he said amen, or he completed that prayer, I was pulled, I was yanked out of my guide's arms. And I was moving with so much velocity. And I was moving between space, time, and dimension. And as I was getting there, I could feel these helpers. I couldn't see them, but I could feel, I like to call them angels. I could feel them guiding me back into my body, but they had to guide me into my time. Like, time is not this linear thing. Like, they had to guide me into the precise spot of my time so I could go back into my body. And as they did that, the next thing I know, I wake up, it's 1:11 in the morning, and I'm claustrophobic as hell. I wake up and I rip everything off my body. I couldn't even have a gown touching my skin. I just stood there in this hospital room, just panting and taking deep breaths and not knowing what to do. I didn't even like the alarms that were being made by the equipment, so I went around and pulled the equipment off the wall. I was just done. I didn't want any of this stuff touching me. I didn't even want the sound touching me. And finally I got it quiet in that room, and I was taking these deep breaths, and then I looked down and realized, dude, you're naked. You're on Earth and you're naked, and that's not a good thing. Not in this space, right? So I went rifling through the cupboards to find a couple of hospital gowns. I wrapped them around me, and then I left. I was going to go home right then and there. And I made it all the way to the elevator when I heard a scream. Then I heard another nurse scream. And then I'm sitting there hitting the down button on the elevator. I've got this hospital gown wrapped around me. And I'm like shirtless. I've got nothing else on my legs, just these hospital gowns wrapped around my middle section. And I look down the hallway and I see these two nurses. They both see me and they both scream a second time.
I'm alive.
And that was when I knew, like, I had to go back. I had to. I knew the trouble that they were going to be in if I didn't go back. So I did. I went back to the hospital, or to the bed, and I let them do another 6 hours worth of tests.
Mm-hmm.
So they did every test that you could think of for someone in my predicament. And finally, they said if I really wanted to leave, I could.
Wow.
And I left the hospital at 7:30 in the morning that day. And, you know, as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
But the rest wasn't history. I was super depressed, man. I was thinking about suicide every day. There was a point where I was thinking about it every hour of every day. All I wanted was to go back. That's all I wanted. I wanted to go back and feel that grass. I wanted to go back and smell those flowers. I wanted to go back and feel that water upon me. But I also knew that if I did it, that whatever I was running from on earth, I would have to face that thing before they'd let me back in. And so I knew to face what I was fearing, and that was life. I had to face life. And, you know, 2 months after my experience, about 2.5, 3 months, I met the love of my life. I met Andrea, which is my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she really helped me shift my energy around. And it was only a few months after meeting her, we were in this little town in Wyoming. And
I'm from Wyoming. Where's that?
So in Afton, do you know Afton?
I know where Afton is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's where the elk arches are,
It's a small
right?
town. It's a super...
It's real tiny, yeah.
It's
Star
like 300
Valley.
people, or like something like that, or pretty small.
Yeah, it's definitely less than 1,000 people.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you've got like 2 gas stations, 4 restaurants, and
right.
a video store.
A main drive through the middle, and then that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's a little small town, but it's where a lot of my ancestors came from that area. Well, we were there for a family reunion. We were watching this reunion at the high school, the local high school, and up on the movie screen comes a picture of my guide. And right there. Now, he had said his name was Drake. His name on the picture said Charles, but I recognized the last name as the same as my grandmother's. So I went straight to my grandmother right then and there. We grabbed our stuff, went straight to grandma's house. I came like bursting into her house, and I'm like, Grandma, tell me about this Charles Kazare. I need to know about him. And her response was, oh, you mean great grandpa Drake? He's kind of famous. And that was it, man. It clicked. You know, I had gone 6 months from my experience. I had continued to speak with Drake. I continued to see him, feel him, hear him in me. And I was thinking I was crazy. I did. And now I knew who he really was. And come to find out from my grandmother, he went by Charles, his first name. But if you were really close to him, as close as family, he would let you call him by his middle name, which was Drake. And it was an answer to prayer, because at that time I was seeking medical professional help to stop me from seeing Drake anymore. And just so happens that while I was doing that, an older woman came in to the session that I was with this doctor, and she said some things, and I repeated them. It scared the crap out of the doctor, and he said, "Get out of my office." And later he apologized and just said, you know, his medical professionalism did not have any answers for me, and that he felt like I should go see a priest or go see clergy, you know, religious guidance, instead of looking for medical guidance. That that he didn't feel it was right to turn something off that was bringing through such truths. And that's where I exist now, man. Been there for 23 years, working with spirit every day, and that's how I live.
Claudia has a question. Where did the bad energy spirit goes? When you went to pure love, where does the bad energy spirit like Hitler go?
So it's kind of like asking, where does your shadow go? It goes with us. But here's the question, okay? Here's the question that spirit has brought to me before. Is if there was no, imagine making a sword without ever using a stone to sharpen it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like a Hitler is a stone to sharpen all of us. And I'm not saying that they're good or important at all, but what I am saying is we become sharper because of them. I lived, over 20 years in Nevada, and there was a big shooting in Las Vegas called the October 1 shooting. And, living in Las Vegas when that shooting happened, we had friends, really good friends lose their son that night at the concert. And we also watched that this entire valley, the Las Vegas Valley, they came together and they became a community, something they had not been in probably 30, 40 years. But Las Vegas itself became this loving community where we all knew we were suffering together, and we were going to journey through this path together. And I watched neighbors that had lived next to each other for 12, 13 years, never said a word to each other. They were hugging each other. They were bringing water to each other's house, bringing each other dinner. It was really a beautiful thing. I don't agree with what was done at all with the shooter, but what I love is the beautiful inspirational activities that we come up with. When we see horrible activity, we bring the light. We, the people, we bring the light. Yeah.
You've spent a lot of the time since this happened talking about light, bringing more light. So talk to me about what you mean by, how can we bring more light into the world based on your experience?
So we are light. Like if you were to break down what inside your body is running this body, it is an energetic light or plasma from a much higher dimension. And that's what I like to call our soul, our spirit.
Right.
And that light, it's not even a set force. It's actually kind of like a key. And when we learn to open it up, we can invite more of that energy into this realm. And perfect example is, David Goggins?
I do.
So Goggins, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the point where he's like, I'm done. I have no energy left. And then the guy runs like 12 more miles.
Right.
There's way more energy than what we can comprehend that can come through that portal. Way more. There's so much more that an entire universe is possible to come through a single you inversed. Yeah.
And is there exercises or techniques or practices that we can do to bring more light into our life?
100%. So first you need to learn what vibration is high and what vibration is low. Okay? When we seek selfish things, it's not horrible, but that's serving the body. And when we seek serving others, that is high vibration, and it's serving the whole, like the body of whole, and the macro instead of the micro.
Right.
And when we can learn to tune our energy to that higher side, it taps us in. Now, one way to do that is to start with gratitude. Every day, wake your butt up and find something to be grateful for. If you feel your life is miserable, look harder. Go spend some time with someone that doesn't have arms or legs. Go spend time with someone who doesn't have vision, or go spend time with someone who doesn't have hearing. but be freaking grateful for what you have, and list it. Like, you actually list it. Create a gratitude list, look at it every day, and now you're tuning yourself towards a gratitude frequency. And when you have a gratitude frequency going, all of a sudden you're in tune with other high vibrations that are near you. It could be spirits, it could be angels, it could be ancestors, it could be inspiration, but all of it is good. All of it is good. Yeah.
It's good. Elizabeth asks, let's see if I can pull it up here. I'm weeping with both longing and joy. Is there a way I can connect with my guide while I'm in Earth School?
Yes. So, when you're using your phone and you're connecting to the internet, you're using Wi-Fi or you're using some type of internet protocol to connect yourself to the worldwide network, right? The beautiful thing is, inside of you, you carry something like that with spirit, and it's love. It's love. So if you have a hard time connecting to spirit, ask yourself, say, self, what is it you want so bad right now? Okay? Let's just say hypothetically, I woke up this morning and I was like, man, I feel depressed, or man, I want more energy. Go figure out a way to help someone else not be depressed. Go figure out a way to help someone else have more energy. And what you're doing is you are actually giving yourself more energy than you could ever help someone else get. You're actually bringing more reason to be positive than any inspiration you can give to others. And, my guide, he called it the principle of the pointed finger, that when we go and help someone, we're bringing 3 times the benefit back at ourselves. But at the same rate, if we're being critical of someone, we're putting 3 times that criticism back on ourselves. So be intentional of seeking out good things, pointing out good things, and being of service of good things. And that's where you start to tune yourself towards that high love vibration, where you can invite heaven into your daily life. Yeah.
You had mentioned about a place where you sort of met your future and past, and so did you meet your future self? Talk about the nature of time and the interactions with the future.
I saw our future. I should say it the right way. I saw a future. Since my experience, I've learned about physics, I've learned about timelines, I've learned about dimension and alternate realities. And I know for a fact that time split a long time ago. It split into many timelines, but what's happening is all of the timelines are converging now into one, all of them. So it doesn't matter which timeline you're on, the future's the same, it looks the same, no matter the time, the alternate vibration, frequency, or reality. And when they came to bring me into my time, it looked like a noodle, like a spiral noodle, okay? Remember Tower Records?
I remember Tower Records, yeah.
And how it was like, it's still there, but how it looked like a tower of records, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like Tower Records, but instead of them being separate circles, they're all connected to each other like a spiral. They had to slot me into my time, but when they did that, I could look up and I could look down. I could see what's coming, but I also could see what happened long ago. And what was really interesting to me is our ancient past, it looks the same as our distant future. So it feels as if we're doing the same pattern that we've done many times on Earth. And I saw that our Earth, it's converging to this future space where us as beings on Earth, we are either going to choose to engage our Mother Earth and stay here, or we're going to choose to leave. How that leaving happens, it could be any number of ways. It could even be possibly a craft that takes us away. But right. we must choose to stay and engage, to stay and create with our Mother Gaia, or to leave. Now, in that process, the earth does separate, and it becomes a higher vibration earth, a lower vibration earth. And those who kind of can't cut the mustard, they can't get into engaging with Mother Gaia, they will peel away with that lower vibration earth, and they will go back into another cycle. But those of us who can choose to engage our mother, embrace her path, embrace nature itself, embrace the path and the evolution of love, the path and the evolution of creation, we get to see a form of earth that has not been seen for eons. But when we look to our history and we hear about these famous times, these famous epochs, these famous eras, they're all describing what we're walking into right freaking now. And to me, this is an amazing opportunity. We got to choose to be here right now. And I know a lot of us say, I'm miserable, I don't want to be here right now. You do though. Your soul chose. Your soul looked at that Tower Records and could have slotted into any space in there. But where you slotted in was now. And that's by design. And by design means that we've already got something preloaded into our soul that is going to help facilitate this process. So unlock that thing. Unlock it with gratitude. Unlock it with meditation. Unlock it with positive energy frequencies and vibrations. You will unlock that mission inside your soul. And then you'll want to be here.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Lewis asks, you speak of merging timelines. If the Mandela effect is physical proof that parallel timelines are actively collapsing into a single stream, what intentional choices must we make right now to ensure our awareness anchors permanently into the timeline of the highest soul consciousness?
So a choice surrounded by an unconditional love is always going to take you in the highest vibration. When you look at some of the great masters who have taught us here on earth, you look at the Krishna, you look at the Lao Tzu, you look at Buddha, you look at my favorite Christ, Yeshua.
Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you.
Yeshua or Adonai or Jehovah Jafra. You look at the Christ, to me, he's my rabbi, he's my teacher.
Do not let the shadows blind you. He
teaches me that my highest timeline is to stop serving the self, but to serve the brother and turn around and realize I'm serving the self. But not to do it by intentionally serving self, but do it by intentionally serving the brother or the sister. Yeah. Or nature. Yeah.
It's something that we see referenced a lot with people that have these sort of mystical experiences, that channel, that see the unseen world, is that service is the ultimate form of prayer. And we are entering into this sort of division where those that serve the self and those that serve others, that's sort of a key fundamental element in our choice as we go along. As you became aware of this aspect of service, what have you learned? A lot of times when I talk to people, when I say service, they think, oh, it's some work I got to go do. Like I'm going to go volunteer at the community center. It's not. Service is not what you think. Yeah.
It's in here first. So first things first, when you wake up and you look in the mirror, what thoughts are going through your head?
Right.
If you wake up, you look in the mirror and you think, oh, I hate that skin I've got. I can't believe my hair looks like that. Oh, my shoulders, why are they rounded like that? You think stuff like that, the vanity things, we're going the wrong direction on our vibration. I want you to wake up, go look in the mirror, and look at the blessed body that you chose to be your clay vessel, to be your mud jar, to hold this light, and to be this blessed temple that you get to have this experience in. And love your body for that. To be in full authenticity, I'm relearning that. 2.5 months ago, I became paralyzed, and nobody knew why. Doctors didn't know why. And finally, it was Spirit who came forward and started showing me how to not be paralyzed anymore. And me following that, I'm good. I'm not running any marathons. I'm not doing any Goggins, but I'm doing good. I'm doing really good, and I'm keeping tapping into that using gratitude. I am very grateful for this body. Is there better bodies out there? Heck yeah, there is. But I'm so grateful for this one. And I'm grateful that this body is hung in there for me. I mean, it allowed death and then came back, which to me is miraculous in itself. The fact that the skin was yellow and like brown and came back, that's just freaking crazy to me. But it happened, it allowed it. And I'm so grateful for this body. I'm so grateful for every opportunity to serve others, to love others, but also to serve and love this guy right here. But not out of selfishness, 100% out of just love. It's very, very different. Because when we serve the self out of selfishness, we're serving the ego. But when we love and serve ourselves out of love, we can do it serving our light, the light within us. Yeah.
I want to talk about what, like my mom and dad are gone. And many times I work with people, something's missing. They wish they could have said something to someone in the past. Tell us what we can know about how the dead interact with us. Are they with us? Are they? Can we talk with them? Talk about your perspective now that you've seen into that. How do the dead interact with us? How can we interact with them?
Yeah, most of the dead are around us at all times. Most of them. There's a few. The ones that had some issues. Maybe they're stuck in one of their decompressions of their life review. They're not going to be around you, but those who have fully gone through their life review, they've crossed, they are around us. I mean, in where you are, hundreds. Where I am, hundreds. They're everywhere we are. Everywhere there is living beings, there are spirits. Now, mixed in with those spirits, there's ancestors, there's guides, there's guardians, there's angels, and angels are very real. With wings, without wings, both. And there's warrior angels, there's kind of weird looking energy, plasma angels, there's so many different forms of loving protection that the Creator has put into play. But they're all around us and they surround us constantly. And what you can do is, when you look into any course on connecting to your ancestors, write them a letter. Write them a simple letter. Ask them a simple question at the end of the letter, and then go to bed. When you wake up the next morning, the answer is already in here and it's in here. And what you'll realize is the answer you have here matches the one that's in here. That's when you know it is your ancestor.
Wow. What happens to like my cats and my dogs? Is there a soul's journey for those animals?
100%. Let me flip the question on you. If I love you and I'm the creator of you, and you love your animal, would you be happy without them in heaven?
Definitely not.
Absolutely not, right?
Yeah.
So our loving Creator made a path so that our animals could be with us as long as we want. If that's an eternity, they get to be with us for an eternity. But at the same time, the way that the soul is, it's omnipresent. That means it can be in all places at all times. The way that the sun can be shining on the moon, the stars can be shining on the earth, can be shining on billions of people at the same time. It's the same idea. It's even more omnipresent than the sun is. But the animal spirit can actually be with us, and we're experiencing them in animal spirit energy. At the same time, they're on their own progression and doing their own goals, their own life cycles.
They can become human?
I have seen spirits that, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I was doing a session and I kept feeling this dog, like, that was in the room. I couldn't see the dog, but I kept asking the woman, who's Blaine? Who's Blaine? Who's Blaine? And finally she was like, well, Blaine is my grandpa and he's been dead for like 20 years. And I even said, I said, dog, if you're actually Blaine, make us a symbol right now. The dog started barking like crazy. And then I asked her, is there anything about her grandpa Blaine that she could pick out? And he wore these very thick rimmed glasses. And sure enough, that dog had what looked like glasses on. That was a very different, not normal situation.
Yeah.
But I asked Blaine, I asked him, why is it that you're hanging out in a dog with your granddaughter? And he said it was because he had such a love for her. And he died when she was only 5 years old. So he volunteered to come into a dog that she adopted from a shelter so that he could still maintain that closeness. And it doesn't mean that he was going to be a dog. He wasn't climbing down the evolution ladder. He was volunteering to do this for connection. And that's the beauty of what our ancestors want. They want to love us. They want to support us everywhere that they can. And yes, animals do progress. Some of them were already human. Some of them may become human. Here's the one thing. I can't say unequivocally yes or no. I would have to be our creator to say yes or no unequivocally. But what I can speak to is what I've experienced. And I have experienced animals that are human souls.
So did you get a vision of the future? Is there anything that you can share about what sort of vision of the future that in any way?
It's going to be badass and crazy and beautiful.
Right.
It is. So the earth itself, she splits.
Hey there, so glad you could make it.
We wouldn't miss it. It's a perfect evening.
She, we already talked about that. She separates lower vibration earth, higher vibration earth. We're almost in the split right now. You go out in a major city, you will see people that are afraid to look at another person in the eye. You'll see people that are afraid of every siren, every race, every color, every religion. You'll see those people out there in society. They shutter themselves in by fear. And then you see people out there.
I just don't see it that way.
But you have to admit the evidence is...
It's the best day of their entire life. They're out there like singing to the trees and dancing around in the sunlight. Those two people, they exist on the same planet, but they are in different worlds. That separation has already begun. And ask yourself when you wake up, what world am I choosing to wake up on? And then choose a good one. Choose a good one.
It's so true. We are in the split right now. We are in the split right now. And we're seeing it if we look at mass media, but we're seeing it in our own lives with the people that we knew in our past, in the future. Even I'm on Facebook, I can see the division slowly just coming together. And
isn't it funny how perfect vision is 2020? And go to the year 2020 and we watched all these separations start.
Right.
We watched all these people that were like best friends separate, family separating, and all over perception and not truth.
All over perception.
All of this hatred towards each other is perception and not truth. Because if you take a total reality checklist and you make everybody on the earth fill out this checklist, we are 91% compliant with each other.
Absolutely.
91% common. But yet we allow these extremities, these extremes, to build fences around us. It's no different than how we've dealt with religion in the past. My favorite saying is, there's no legion like the human legion or the soul legion. And that's why we don't need religion. We can be in religion, or we can be in religion without letting that religion define who we are. Yeah.
It's so true. It's wonderful that we both get to play a role, and that's one reason that I'm called to do what I do, and I can tell you're called, is that we can make a difference by calling upon and bringing about, reminding people of their light. But ultimately, it's going to be them. They're the ones, so we're here to remind them. And then once they are aware of the light, then you play a role too. You're going out and reminding others of the light. And it's just like it's like a pandemic of light that's spreading throughout the whole planet, right?
Yeah. I like to
It's
call
airborne,
it
right?
an inspidemic, right? Like it's like we're going to inspire each other.
Inspidemic, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we want to inspire each other everywhere. Yeah.
I just think that we have I think that you mentioned it, the sort of waves of what happens in your occurrence, and so we're creating a wave into our future, and so join us over on this wonderful, loving, positive earth. You're welcome. The food is better. The people are nicer. Trust me, there's nothing you need to worry about. Let go of those fears. It's not what you think anyway. And we can join into something wonderful. And this, I know what is so appealing is one of my to be authentic, one of my greatest fears is death. And I had a near-death experience. Somebody shot at me and a bullet bounced off my back, and just what the change that I went through, and like looking back on my life and saying that's all my life would have been. I would have been just completely useless, selfish thinking on my own. It inspired me to be of service. And but still there was this fear of death. Like, I'm going to look at every single religion. I'm going to read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I'm going to read every single book, because I'm scared of nothingness, that the void of nothingness, that I'm scared that when I die, that there will be nothing. I have a perception, and I'm just wondering if from people that you met, is there a sort of afterlife where people are not aware that they're dead? It takes them a little bit of time to come to a realization, so they live entire lives. After what happened to me, I started to think, well, maybe I'm dead because my life is too good to be true. It feels like a dream right now that I'm walking through it. And maybe I am dead, but I wasn't ready to totally come to terms with it. And then I've met other people that had near-death experience. It seems like everywhere I go, I'm meeting people that had this near-death experience. And maybe we're all collectively in some sort of afterlife. It's a level of afterlife, right?
Well, it's, when you think about it from our Creator's perspective, that the Creator is so full of loving energy, even towards itself, that if it wants something, it just starts to form. And that it doesn't get to have any type of flex or growth by existing in that space. So our Creator creates us where we can be that instrument to stretch, to choose, to reach, and to be. But the most beautiful thing that I've experienced in this life is a oneness with Source. And does it feel like nothingness? Absolutely. It feels like blissfully nothingness. But it also feels like everythingness. It feels like being plugged into the quantum field. And when I'm plugged into that space in meditation, all knowledge is mine, all healing is mine, all understanding is mine, if I have the ability or the energy to reach or tap in and flow into me. And I love that we get this opportunity to be here experiencing this.
Absolutely. No, it's an amazing thing that we get to experience, that there's nothing better in meditation when we reach into that oneness and we touch it. And I'm saying from my own experience and so many others, we are all one. We are all one being. I believe that the new earth, we start to explore what that means. We can live in an individual body and share our thoughts and perspectives. We become more than just this single body. We become a sort of social memory complex, a group mind that's working together I really believe in that. It feels natural. It's the natural expansion of where we are going in consciousness. So that when I immediately meet somebody, I know everything about them immediately. What I think is going to happen, I want to get your perspective now that you've sort of seen this. On the planet, we're going to go through a phase where everybody is going to know everything about everybody. And we're going to realize everybody's got a skeleton in their closet. We're going to have to go through a period of forgiving, not only ourselves, but all those people, and fully accepting, hey, nobody's perfect, because the truth is coming out for everybody. We're seeing into the truth, and it becomes an innate knowing. You meet somebody, you innately know everything about this person, and it's okay. At first, there's going to be this transition period where it feels like the whole world is nobody's who they portray themselves to be. Oh, this person did this bad thing, and this person did this bad thing. But then you realize there's so much more to it. They had justification for why they did that, or you see the real story behind the scenes, and everybody will be forgiven. That's the beauty of it. We're going to go through a transition. First, it'll be shock, and then it'll be sort of coming to grips with it, and then a sort of forgiveness will come. That's how I see it. Right?
Yeah, a letting go. Well, if you look back, in Christianity and in Judaism, they believed that we were all speaking one language before the Tower of Babel, right? What if that language was consciousness? What if that's what we're heading back towards?
If that language was consciousness, exactly.
Yeah. And what if that tower was a mimic to some natural network that was serving, that we could plug into all of each other? And I feel that that's what we're doing right now. We're building those networks right now, energetically.
Right.
Not with technology, but with energy and each other. Yeah.
Technology just ends up being a reflection of who we are. And it always had, throughout history, technology's always been good and bad. It is what it is, but it's always been a reflection. And so what with the internet is just a reflection of our expanded consciousness. A version of us will have our own internet, but it'll be so much better. We'll have instant knowledge and instant connection to all knowledge at the same time, something that we're actually used to most of the time. That's our home, right? And we actually kind of like choose to escape from that in short little segments, right?
Well, I got the wonderful opportunity to speak for about 90 minutes with some physicists. And when we got done, they asked, where did you do your grad work? Where did you do your PhD? Where did you get your doctorate? And I'm like, when I died, I don't know. I didn't get any of those things. And they said, but they couldn't believe that I was talking to them. But 5 minutes after the conversation was over, I couldn't even repeat one sentence that we had just talked about. Yeah. That's the beauty of spirit, is you plug into where you're needed, and you're able to raise your vibration and become what others need you to become. And then you can step back and be yourself too. It's such an amazing thing.
The thing about really spiritual experiences like the one you had, that I've always found fascinating and frustrating. And when it's happening, I know it's like, this is so amazing, I'm going to forget it. The memory, right? Like some of those experiences, I know that you kind of remember, but you couldn't put it down. It's so amazing. It's almost like it's too amazing. There's no way. Once you reach those higher levels of consciousness, there's no way you'll be able to tell anybody about it. So enjoy it while it happens, because sometimes it may be temporary while we're human. But I might find myself, I got to write this down. I got to figure out a way to remember it, because I know I'm going to forget it very quickly, right? That's the higher the level, the more easily you're going to forget.
Well, the easier it is to lose it too, because we are still in our human experience. Like I had an experience with my family. We were at a party, and I was hanging out with my best friend, and he said, well, why don't you text your wife and your daughter to come and meet us at the car? And I said, okay. And I just closed my eyes, and I just sent them a message spiritually. And within
this moment right here is what it's all about.
5 minutes, my daughter comes walking out. Within 2 minutes later, my wife comes walking out. And my friend is like, this is freaking me out, man. How are you doing? And I'm like, it's not me. This is something we all have. It's just I was at such a love frequency, I could tap into it. And sometimes I can tap in, sometimes not. But it is really neat that we all have that. Every single one of us. I have nothing special in me. All I did was die to remember what was already there. It was already there. I just learned how to grow it. Yeah.
So we need the whole world to remember what was already there, who they really are. And I believe we can do that one person at a time, and it can spread. And it can start by us hearing stories like yours, which wake people up. And it's been a real honor to speak with you and hear your story and to share your journey with you. Thank you for blessing us with your light. Thank you for your mission. Continue to bring the light to everyone. What's the best place for people to get in touch or know more about you, Vinney?
So they can reach me through my nonprofit. It's called Living God's Light. So livinggodslight.org. Yeah.
Right. And we have some people in the community, and you have events and that you host as well?
We do. Yeah. So we host in-person events, online events. I do, like I've done a retreat for 8 years straight that everyone who goes every year. So we don't market that because it's so locked out, but we do regular events. I love being face to face where I can, but I also love being face to face on Zoom or on interviews like this where we can do group events. But yeah, we do regular group events.
And I totally suggest that if you can, get the book, The Light After Death, My Journey to Heaven and Back, by Vinney and Lynn Taylor. Amazing interview. So grateful that you have joined us. And welcome to the Reality Revolution, Vinney.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me, man. And I want to tell you, bro, thanks for having the courage to do what you do. Because there's easier ways to spend your time, to invest your energy. And thank you for keeping up with it, because I can feel your spirit team saying there was 3 jumping points already where it would have been so easy just to jump. There's plenty of more, but
that's so true. Yeah.
But 3 really big ones. And at each one, it wasn't about the jumping point for you. It was about the lesson of expansion. And so thank you for not jumping. And thank you for hanging in there and doing what you do, man. I love you, brother.
Oh man, that meant so much to hear that. And I know exactly what they're saying. I appreciate that immensely. Thank you. And we will definitely be talking again soon. So Vinney Tolman, everyone. Thank you. Whenever I've taught about money, I've only ever been able to give you a tiny piece. I've only ever been able to give you an affirmation or a single teaching. So I'm so excited to announce that we're hosting an event in Austin on September 18th to the 20th at the Hyatt Regency, which will be a 3-day immersive event designed around manifesting large sums of money in your life, shifting you into the reality where large sums of money flow to you, becoming the person in which large sums of money flow. Over a 3-day period, you will be transformed by these unique meditational practices. You will feel money. You will hear it. You will smell it. You will taste it. You will become it. You will walk away with this having a completely different understanding of the nature of money in your life. We will take it to the most fundamental of levels. Tickets are still available. We have a low early bird price. I want you to come and join us. If you have struggled with this in the past, if you have the ability to attend this, I want to completely shift what's going on inside of you, to change the variables, to completely change the world around you so that you live in a reality where large sums of money are undeniably coming to you all the time. You can find a link in the description at www.brianscottlive.com/Austin-2026.